Once upon a time, in a small bustling town with lush hills and vibrant streets, there lived a young girl named Niyi. She had the darkest, most beautiful skin, the kind that glowed under the sun like polished ebony. But in Niyi's eyes, her complexion was nothing but a source of deep insecurity. Niyi, though kind-hearted and full of laughter, couldn't help but feel invisible when she looked around at the other kids in her school. Almost all of her classmates had lighter skin, some even fairer than the glow of the moon. They would boast about their perfect skin, and Niyi would listen quietly, her heart heavy with self-doubt. She often found herself staring in the mirror, wishing she could have skin like theirs, lighter, brighter, as if that would make her beautiful too. Each day, the voices of the other children rang in her ears, reminding her that beauty meant having skin that was not as dark as hers. She felt like she didn't belong. Slowly, this feeling began to eat at her confidence, and her once vibrant spirit started to fade. Niyi withdrew into herself. She would walk with her head down and speak less to others, afraid of what they might say about her skin. At night, she would secretly scroll through websites and watch videos about skin whitening and bleaching. The thought of changing her appearance consumed her, and she dreamed of the day when she would finally be able to change herself when she grows older. There is always a deep sadness in her heart because she felt like she would never be enough as she was. Her mother, a loving woman who ran a fabric shop in the town's market, noticed the change in her daughter. Niyi, who once would run around with joy and laughter, had become quiet and distant. One day after school, her mother gently pulled her aside. "Niyi, my dear, what is troubling you?" she asked, her voice filled with concern. But Niyi didn't answer. She simply looked away, her thoughts locked away in a place she couldn't share with her mother. She didn't want her mother to see the pain that had taken root in her heart. She didn't want her mother to know that Niyi, despite her loving embrace, felt like she wasn't enough. Her best friend Ijoma tried to comfort her too. "You are beautiful, Niyi," she would say. But Niyi couldn't see it. How could she, when all the girls around her were lighter, including her best friend Ijoma, and society seemed to say that beauty was only for them? One day, the school announced that it was holding a beauty pageant, and the whole school buzzed with excitement. Niyi had always dreamed of being a beauty queen. She imagined walking across the stage, her heart beating fast with joy, her skin glowing like the sun. But on the day of the screening, when she arrived at the venue, her hope began to fade. The girls lined up, each of them with skin lighter than hers. They wore bright smiles, perfectly styled hair, and radiant faces. And Niyi felt a pang in her chest. How could she compete with them? She was the only dark-skinned girl in the pack. "I have no fighting chance," she said as she ran back home. That day, she decided to give up on her dream. She would never be the one to win. She would never be the one to shine. The next day after school, she walked home, feeling the weight of her own insecurities dragging her down. As she walked through the busy road, she barely noticed the people around her, Niyi usually helps her mother in the fabric shop after school, some days. So she would go home, change, and go to meet her mother at the market. But on this fateful day, as she made her way through the market on her way to their fabric shop, a street photographer scouting for a modeling agency was at the heart of the town's market, taking random pictures of the people in the market, capturing moments of beauty, joy, and life. He took a picture of Niyi as she passed by amongst the numerous pictures he captured of passerbys and market men and women. The next day, the photographer submitted his photos to the agency. And amongst the thousands, one picture stood out to the owner of the agency, Miss Nina, the most well-known and respected name in modeling in the town. She was stunned by Niyi's photo. It wasn't just her dark skin that caught her attention. It was the grace, elegance, and depth that radiated from her. Niyi's beauty was not the pale, conventional beauty that many admired. It was something richer and more profound. And Miss Nina wanted to find her. With her assistant in tow, Miss Nina went into the market with the photo, asking people if they recognized the young girl in the photo. And not long enough, she was directed to the fabric shop where Niyi worked with her mother. When Niyi saw the woman walk into the shop, she couldn't believe her eyes. Miss Nina, the owner of the biggest modeling agency in town, was standing there looking at her. "Niyi," Miss Nina said, her voice full of admiration. "You are stunning. Your skin, your smile, your presence. You are exactly what the world needs to see. Would you be willing to sign with my agency?" Niyi stood there, frozen, her mind swirling with disbelief. She had always thought her dark skin was a flaw, a barrier to beauty. But here was this powerful woman telling her the exact opposite. Niyi's eyes filled with tears, and before she could stop herself, she burst into sobs. She turned to her mother, who had quietly watched the exchange, and confessed everything. "I've always hated my skin, Mother. I thought I wasn't beautiful. I thought I needed to be lighter to be loved, to be enough," Niyi sobbed, her heart breaking with the weight of the years of self-doubt. Her mother embraced her, wiping away her tears. "Oh, my dear Niyi," she said softly, "you are a black beauty. Your skin is like the richest velvet, your heart like gold. You are more than enough, just the way you are. Don't ever forget that." Miss Nina smiled warmly and said, "Niyi, your beauty is a gift to the world. I will show it to everyone. And through you, I hope to teach other young girls to love themselves just as they are." Niyi could not believe her ears, and she smiled wholeheartedly, looking forward to what the future holds for her. Over the next few months, Niyi's life changed in ways she never imagined. She made her debut as a billboard model, her face beaming across the town. Her classmates, who were unaware of her inner struggles, were stunned by how radiant she looked. People stopped to admire her, and soon she became an inspiration to many young girls who had once felt the same insecurities she had. Niyi learned to love herself. She saw her dark skin not as a flaw, but as a badge of pride. And from that day forward, Niyi never doubted her worth again. She knew that the world was full of diverse beauty, and hers was unique. She had become the beauty queen she had always dreamt of, not because of how she looked, but because of the love and confidence she found within herself. And so, Niyi's story became one of triumph, of learning to love herself and embracing the beauty that was always there, shining brightly for the world to see. This is the end of my story.